Hi there, it's Lori Pinto from Lollipop Paper and Ink. I wanted to share a project today and to also share with you that it took me 3 times to get this project the way I wanted it. Just because I just wasn't thinking, and there were some steps involved, and I guess that's kind of what threw me off. But this is from the Jar of Flowers bundle, which is the stamp set, Jar of Flowers, and the punch. So I looked at it and I thought, oh, this is going to be easy peasy. And it is. It's just, there's a little bit more thinking involved than I guess I was. I guess that's what threw me off. Anyway, this bundle is part of the Flowers for Every Suite, Flowers for Every Season suite, which is on page 10, 11, 12, and 13. With this suite, you get 2 bundles, the Celebrate Sunflowers bundle, and then also the Jar of Flowers. Those are the 2 bundles. If you got the suite, and they have it listed with 1 item number and 1 price, and you get, this is everything you see here is what you get. The domes, the shaker domes, which we're going to use today, the Flowers for Every Season Memory and More card pack. There is a card pack that would come with it. This is the cards and envelopes, which is what I have here. So there's plenty of goodies that will last a really long time, all seasons. And so I thought it was going to be easy peasy, and like I said, it could be, but I messed up 2 times, and I just thought I would share the 2 that I messed up with you, just so you could learn from my mistakes. This was the end result, so I was happy with this. This is using the Memories and More cards and envelopes. It's using In Good Taste Designer Series paper. I did some blends work here, and I finally got this shaker dome to fit the way I wanted it to. And so I'll show you the ones that I just wasn't happy with when I first started. This was my first one, and what I did wrong here was I have to say I've been a total fail at shaker cards. I mean, I just can't get it straight. The gems are leaking out, or it's crooked, or whatever. So I just thought this was going to solve all my problems, and it did. It has adhesive. Let me show you. In this is how it comes, the box. This is what these shaker domes look like. And you can see that it has adhesive here on the top. I don't want to peel it back. And then adhesive on the bottom. So, which is very cool. The thing I did wrong was when I put we're going to go through one, so you'll see that when you punch, you're going to punch out your background, your layer, which I used a DSP, and then you're going to lay this under it. So I guess when I was just trying to figure out the adhesive part, I put the wrong, I didn't really want this, although it looks fine. I didn't want this print of the DSP to be the background. So that was my first mistake. Second mistake was the ribbon, and I forgot to wrap it around before I put the adhesive down, which, okay, so that was all right. I could lift it up a little bit, and although you can't, once it's down, you're done. You can't undo that. So I just stuck a little glue dot here and here, and then I just kind of squished it in there. So I wasn't happy that I had to do that. And then I covered it up with a little bit of a fussy cut of one of the flowers. The other thing that I did wrong, I felt, was that not wrong, but I could have done better, was to put more of the gems inside. And the gems are also part of that suite also. So when I kind of shook it around, it was like, you really couldn't even see them. They just all go down to the bottom. So I thought, okay, let's try this again. And this time I won't make those same mistakes. Well, I did. I forgot to put the ribbon in, the thread, the linen thread. So this time I think I really messed it up, because then I tried to lift this, and then the DSP didn't really sit well. So I have an alternative to this, to my dilemma with this, remembering this. So we're going to do that now. So for this one, it's the same thing. I printed out, I stamped each of these images. This is, and then this one is here. This one is this here, the tall one. And then the one that I was happy with was the sunflower one. So that's what we're going to do today. And I just, the same thing, I backed it up on, this, I just layered it on some cardstock, some DSP. These tags were from the Tasteful Dyes, Tasteful Textures bundle, but this was just the dyes that I used for that. So, and it doesn't have any sentiments on this particular stamp set. So, but the good thing is the other stamp set, the Celebrate Sunflowers, has beautiful sentiments that you could use for that. Okay, so let me show you. We'll try to replicate this with limited mistakes, but this is how I do it. When I'm using my blends and I want to add a little bit more to the background, what I always do is I stamp it 3 times, the same image. I'll stamp it 3 times. This is a brand new pad of Memento. Finally came in, so it's very juicy, and I already got it on my hands. Okay, so what I'm going to do with this image, I'm going to stamp it 3 times. And the reason I'm going to do that is because I'm going to color in with my blends 1 full image. Okay, that's a nice impression. I was struggling before because it was a little dry. And I also try to use a refill, but I think there's only so many times you can refill these pads, and then it's just best to get another one. Okay, this one I'm going to put up here because these are all going to be fussy cut out, and I want to do my jar again. And I'm always going to do my jar to the bottom of the cardstock because that's where the punch is going to bring it in from there. All right, before we get rid of those, let's just put some stems in there. And this, I'm just gonna wing it here. Okay, good enough. The top is covered, so you don't have to worry about getting it those stems totally, because they don't reach all the way from the top all the way down to the bottom. So you have to this is a little too dark. All right, so then I'm just going to do my top of my lid here, although I don't really think you're going to see that anyway. But just adds a little something. Okay, so let's get that ink out of the way. So what I'll do is I used a lot of blends markers, so I don't want to have you sit through that. So what I did was I'll just show you the reason I'm doing 3 is because for this first one here, I'm going to color it in with all my blends, and I used, I'll have the list of the colors that I used and item numbers and of all the products for all 3 of these projects. So for the first one, I colored the entire thing in. For the second one, now I'm thinking I may just want a piece of this. So what I would do is just color in what I want to use as a background. So what I colored in was just this large sunflower and then this cone-shaped flower to add behind it. So, and when I fussy cut it, I just do those 2. And the reason I do another one is because I might want, in this case, I used this flower here. So when I'm cutting it out, so this was my full colored image there. So when I did this one, I colored this in, but I want to be able to go right into it and kind of ruin the image on that side, because I just want to give myself enough white space to put adhesive behind it and then be able to sneak that in there. so that you don't see it. So that's why I do 2. And then the third one, as you can see here, I did this way. So I cut this out, and I didn't want to have to be careful with if I wanted another little flower. So you could do this flower up here, and then you could have the spray of all 3 flowers and add that underneath it. So however you want to do it, but that is the reason why I do the 3. And then for this one, I just colored in this little guy down here and then fussy cut that out. And since this is going to be put on with a glue dot, I didn't have to worry about, I could have, but if it was going to go behind the center image, I would have given myself more space for that. Okay, so that's why I do 3. So let me just show you now what we're going to do with the to get these things together with that dome. And I will either fast forward this through the coloring parts, or I'll just cut and paste and edit it out. Okay, so for this one, I did not do the, so I'm going to, I didn't do the stems to have them done beforehand. So for those, I just did crumb cake. And I just did very lightly. This is, make sure, it's the light crumb cake. And I would just go in and try to get onto the individual stems. Okay, so now I want it to look like there's a little bit of water in the bottom. So I use my Pool Party. This I'm going to use darker. Let's see how that looks. Usually I was just playing around with the light, but yep, I like the dark too. Okay, so now our jar is done. Okay, so what we have next is the, get rid of these envelopes here, although I do love those. So what we have here is, this is the Memories and More Flowers for Every Season card bases and envelopes. And they're all in the in colors for 2022. So I just use my bone folder for a nice crisp fold. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is take my punch, and I'm going to lay that through here, and I'm just going to lay it right in the bottom so I can kind of eyeball it to make sure that it's straight. Okay, now I'm going to use this for a tag or something later on. I'll never throw that out. All right. Now we're going to take the strip. Now we're going to take the top adhesive strip off first. Come on. Oh my goodness, where's my... Okay. My trusty paper piercer. Okay, so I'm going to put this down, and I'm just going to lay this right on top. Okay, I have the side up, so okay, one mistake I didn't do. So, and now I'm not going to worry about the thread, because I will show you when we're done, when we get it all on there. I got a brilliant idea from one of my team members, that instead of fussing with that and getting the thread to go on the inside and around, she just told me to put a piece of tear and tape, and that worked perfectly. So thank you, Peggy. That was a great idea, and I'm using it now ever since. Okay, so now we want to be able to get we want to be able to get this on here. This is a little tricky because we do want to keep it in the in that frame that was on there. when we put it down, because once we put the adhesive down on the other side, we're just going to pick up the edges here to do the rest. But what I want to do is add some gems. Now what I did here is, so that they don't all go right smack down to the bottom, I'm going to put a few little dabs of my glue, my fine tip glue pen, and use my pickup tool to just pick them up, and I'm going to put it right on there. This way that will stay even when everything else gets shaken up. So just trying to pick them up from the top. Fine tip glue pen works great, and this pickup tool works wonders, because you don't have to get your fingers all dirty and gluey and sticky. So, all right, so I'm just going to put 3 there. I could put more, but my other mistake that I had done last time was I didn't put enough of these gems in there. I didn't think I did. I mean, I thought I did, but when I started to actually put it together, it didn't work out so well. So let me put a little extra in here, and let's see how that goes. All right, so that's pretty much where we want it. And I'll be lucky if I don't get that that ink all over me today. All right, so I'm placing this. Now, if that frame wasn't there, I'd have it would be easier to get this in the place, but I don't want to have to fuss with that afterwards. So okay, so it's in there. Okay, so now we go back and we take off the back piece and lay that right over. Looks a little crooked. Okay, so I got it on there, and I'm going to, okay, perfect. All right, so now let's get rid of this. And I want to make sure that I get my corners down, because everything around here is pretty tight, but I don't want the corners to lift up. Okay, that should do it down there. And whoops. Okay, and this is the new Stampin' Seal adhesive, and I'm finally getting the hang of it. Of course, now I can't, but there we go. Okay. All right. So that's that for there. So that's looking good. Everything is, and there's enough there. There's enough of those little gems. It really looks like the ones that we put in our vases when we have fresh flowers. Okay, so what I'll do here is I'm going to put this on first with my dimensionals, just to make sure I know where I'm going with it. And I found that doing the blends coloring is so relaxing, and it just makes it look so lifelike. Okay, so I'm going to do that first. This way I know where I can put this. I don't have to worry about dimensionals, because I want this to have a little depth to it. So let's put a little bit of there. And I'm just going to squeeze this guy right here. Just want to make sure that you're not going to see the white. Other than that, I just want a little extra. And I could have added something extra there too. Okay, so where's my little flower? I just put this on with a glue dot right on the bottom to make it look like it just fell. One of those beautiful petals just fell. Okay, now for Peggy's perfect tip is my tear and tape. I just put a little bit, and what I did here was this is ribbon from the Forever Greenery ribbon combo pack, and hopefully that's back in stock. I don't know. I've been waiting for it. So all I did was take a little tiny piece of that, and I'm going to wrap that right over the tear and tape. And if there's a little, a little extra, that's no big deal. I can just always tuck that under. So I'm going to put that right to the bottom there, and snip it. Okay, now I'm going to pick it up and get a little sticky to this, but all right, so this cut is just like I don't know, 1.5 inches or so, and I'm just going to, and I made this is really much thicker, and I'm just going to run it there. Okay, and so what I did was I took the ribbon, which I do have it with me here. This is the Forever Greenery Trim Combo Pack, and it's this thick actually, but I found that that's kind of too, I could have used that, but it would have been a little too wide, and to me it's a little cumbersome to make bows out of this, so I usually end up trimming it right down the middle. This is the other gold thread that comes with that. Okay, so this is here. I'm going to trim this right down to the bottom. Come on, get out of there. And I like the way it frays, so I'm going to leave that right where it is. And then my other piece, I'm just going to make a bow and put that on there. And I do try to lift up and fray some of these edges too. I just love that look, especially with the rustic look of these flowers. Okay, another glue dot, and we're good to go for this. And I like it like a little shabby, so I'm going to put that right there, so that it covers, and I like all those little loops there. I'm not going to put a sentiment on this one. I did on the other ones, but I want to keep this open because I feel like I'm not sure. I have a few things coming up, and I want to make sure that I have it ready for the appropriate occasion. And so I just added a few of the new in color enamel dots, just to give it a little bit of pizzazz. Maybe I'll put one right in the middle of that flower, just a little bit of bling. Okay, I did it. Woo! So I have 2 that were a success. Yay me. All right, this background color is a little bit different. I kind of like it. I think it picks up the orange and the yellow from the cinnamon cider color, the cardstock, and also with the flowers. So because I did use the cinnamon cider in there. So I hope you'll try it. This is a fabulous suite, and even if you just get the jar of flowers and the dome, you could even make it. I don't have it here, but I did a few that didn't even use the dome. Just stamped the jar and the stems right on there. So I hope you like the video. I hope that you'll try it and learn from my mistakes, and you will be able to do it quick and easy, and it's very relaxing to do the coloring and then to have it all done perfectly for you when you're done. Okay, thank you so much for joining me today, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed the YouTube video. If you do see it on YouTube, please subscribe to my channel and give me a thumbs up, and then this way you'll be able to get notified of when my next video is going to be. All right, I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great day. See you next time. Bye-bye.